An Estonian or a foreigner?
Foreigner.
Well, right now you're a bit too close for an Estonian. Like maybe like no, not quite. That's Finnish distance. For us, it's more like this.
This is comfortable.
Okay. Yes, this is okay.
And this is Finland.
This is Finland, yes.
Hey everybody, I'm here in Tallinn, Estonia, and I'm here with Manan, who runs his own channel on what it's like living in Estonia.
Hello everybody, great to have you here.
So today we're gonna go around and ask Estonians, what is it like dating here? What are some things not to do? Maybe what are some things that you should do as a foreigner? So let's see what they had to say. If you clicked on this video, you probably already know some facts about Estonia. But some of you may say, huh? Estonia? Where is that? Is that even a country? So here are some quick facts in case you belong to the second club. Yes, Estonia is a country. What's more, it's an incredibly cool one. Did you know that Estonia is the Silicon Valley of Europe, where pretty much everything can be done online, except for getting married or getting divorced? That you have to do in person. But everything else, from voting to parking to education, you can do digitally. So it's not that surprising that hordes of digital nomads are now relocating to the country to work online. Now, for some super quick geography. Estonia is located in Northern Europe, specifically the Baltic region, along with Lithuania and Latvia. But ask Estonians, and they will probably identify as Nordic. It's not that surprising considering they are a 2-hour ferry ride away from Finland. And what's more, the Estonian language has the closest ties to Finnish, not Latvian or Lithuanian. And having spent around 48 years under the Soviet rule, it's also not that surprising that Estonians now want to scrap the past and be as closely tied to Western Europe as possible. So, how did this all affect the Estonian mentality? So what are some culture shocks that you've had upon coming to Estonia?
Generally, Estonians are cold and reserved. It's not very easy to become friends with them.
They don't have much sense of humor.
People are more reserved. You can't approach them so easily. They might be introverted, but at the same time, they're so honest and they're so straightforward. It's really nice.
Estonians might take longer to open up to you. That doesn't mean they're closed off completely or that they're not friendly. It comes down to the culture and like how we were raised. We're taught to be quite cautious of people we don't know.
What about getting like close and personal? Is that a thing that people should maybe not do so much?
Well, right now you're a bit too close for an Estonian. Like maybe like no, not quite. That's Finnish distance. For us, it's more like this.
This is comfortable.
Okay. Yes, this is okay.
And this is Finland.
This is Finland, yes.
In Estonia, in one word, space is required. And we say world is small, Tallinn is smaller. This is the smallest city that I ever live actually. So if you have some time, you can walk to the airport.
I often joke that the whole country is like a library because you don't speak loud because you stand out if you are a little bit too loud. But that is I think one of the best parts.
So it's like a country for introverts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're an introvert, come to Estonia.
Yeah, of course.
When I came to Estonia, of course, I have a habit of speaking much more loudly. But then if I speak to Estonians, they're like, why are you shouting? Because they speak, you really need to be close. You can't hear them even from there. And even on the buses and trains, if you go, you're going to see Estonians just as if it's a punishment to sit on the bus.
We may seem all cold from the outside and not feel like too assertive, but actually if you get to know the person very well, then they are really empathetic and very kind.
If you do make friends, if you put in some effort, then it pays off a lot. Some of my closest friends are Estonian now, and I've been they're some of my best friends.
What is some way that you can get closer to Estonians? Have you figured it out?
It's sauna.
So you go into the sauna and then everything, you open up.
Yeah, and also some parties.
So sauna and drinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I come from the Mediterranean culture, and it's the easiest thing to do in our culture is like to meet people and become friends in all the streets people don't know. Here it's the total opposite, and the weather, I can't emphasize how crazy the weather is and how fast it changes.
For backgrounds, we said it wasn't going to rain today. It was sunny weather and there was not one single cloud in the sky. You said it wasn't going to rain. And an hour later, we're standing under this thing because it's raining.
In Estonia, you can see the real face of the person. You see emotions. If person likes you, you see it. But if person doesn't like you, you see it as well. But at the same time, in America, in Canada, you don't see it.
So here, when someone says something, they mean it.
Yeah.
You're entering the place. I'm open the door for you, just enter, no thank you. Or their mindset, Nordic mindset says it's not your duty, so don't do it.
Once I fell in the stairs and I was lying on the floor during a few minutes and nobody has helped me and came to me like to ask if they could call an ambulance or anything.
Wow.
So that was a very, very big shock for me.
So you were lying on the floor for a few minutes.
Yeah, I actually broke my foot. I think Estonians are a bit individualistic. It means if you have a problem, it's not their problems.
People might not help you here if you're, in trouble. But I see that changing a little bit as well, because there was one time when I slipped on ice, and after lying there and for 3 seconds. But then there was this girl that came up to me and asked me if I'm okay, and that was nice for a change.
They concentrate and don't take rushed actions. Once I was in a car crash. I was in a bus, and that bus got into 2 cars, and it was a mess. And there was nobody crying or shouting or saying things. Everyone was just calm. No one moved in the bus. No one moved in the cars. Just they were okay. Yes, I'm okay. And okay, they opened the doors and we got off, and no one said the word, and I was in shock. I mean, if it wasn't my country, it would be like a war or something.
They are very, maybe, stoic, maybe?
Stoic.
What would you do if somebody approaches you just randomly?
For me, it totally depends on the way that the person approaches me. I love meeting people in person. I'm really pro offline dating. So whenever someone approaches me, I'm happy about it, but it all depends on how they do it. I think it should be you give the person enough space and time to realize what's going on.
Social distancing is important. Don't be too physical. I guess not too many hugs or something like that, especially in public spaces.
Who pays on the date here in Estonia on the first date?
Men.
Men. You prefer the men to pay on the first date? And on the second?
Still men.
And on the third?
Still men.
And on the fourth?
I mean, after that, I guess you can negotiate, but it's kind of cheap if you don't pay.
And Estonian men, do they generally pay?
They complain about it, but
they do it.
But they do it, yeah.
Depends on the vibe, the person. Generally, I would go for splitting.
What's your idea of a perfect date?
Something where we would get to experience something cool together. Not just sitting down at a restaurant, because that can be intimidating.
Здесь не так, как, например, в Швеции, когда принято делить счет. В основном, если тебя приглашают на свидание, то неважно, кто это, русский или эстонец, он будет готов платить.
Я видела мужчин с цветами. Я не знаю, если были русские или эстонцы, но давно не видела мужчину с охапкой цветов, такой шел куда-то. Я думаю, вау, давно такого не видела, нигде причем не видела. Все-таки есть еще какая-то романтика.
Да.
It's much similar to the Nordic countries, where people are much more open about dating, about sex on the first date and stuff like that.
Let's say someone comes from another country and they're Italian, for example. What advice would you give them on something maybe not to do that is normal in their country?
I think if someone is dating Italians, then they want someone who acts like an Italian. If they want someone who acts exactly like locals do, they will date an Estonian man. For foreigners to be themselves is the best, I think.
Being from India, has it helped you actually get dates here?
Yeah, for sure. Estonia is still one of those places where being dark-skinned is still exotic.
Lived in Cyprus for 2.5 years.
How was that?
It was amazing. It's still the best experience in my life.
What was amazing about it?
Islander life is amazing. First of all, is weather, is klima, is sun, is sea, and all these people there. Everyone is so open-minded. So nice feeling to wake up there, to go to sleep, but maybe doesn't sleep. I guess Estonians generally are very interested in foreigners, and I guess Tinder is a good place. I came back 2 months ago, and the first of all which I faced here is the energy, the energy. Maybe it depends on the sun. Thanks God it's summer, but July forgot that it's summer. Yeah. Is it? The people. Yeah, I love Estonians. I love all the people, but a little bit.
Would you rather date an Estonian or a foreigner?
Foreigner.
Why is that? And where from? Let's say, like pick a region in the world.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter where.
No, I don't know.
Energy? Is it the energy?
Yeah, energy. I don't care about the food. I don't care about the exact restaurant or area to go. I need some feelings, energy.
Can you name something that you really, really like about Estonian men? And is there anything that you don't vibe with?
I think it's easier to start from what I don't vibe with. I think they could be more brave and make the first step more. Just be more outgoing and just go for it. I think life is too short to not do it.
Estonians are so reserved that when I actually go and talk to a girl, like normally on the street or in the cafe, they're somewhat kind of shocked, but they also kind of like it because nobody does that here.
So actually, one advice I guess would be that you use that foreign.
For sure, use that foreign card and then also just go talk to girls.
Have you found that Estonian women like to hear compliments?
No, not too much.
Estonian women are extremely confident. Every time I've talked to them, I've approached them, it's been very, very surprised by how confident and outgoing and approachable they are. I mean, when you look at them, you might seem that they're very reserved and serious, but when you start talking to them, then you get to see them how confident and smart and they really are. But of course, I mean, they obviously have very high standards. The fact that they are self-reliant, so it means that a person has to really, be top of the game.
When I came here first, I was on Tinder. I had a match with an Estonian guy, and every time I was asking him for a date, to go somewhere, every time he said no.
She just said no. Do you want to do this? No.
Yes. Okay. Every time he was finding a kind of excuse.
So you never met?
No. And that was my only experience with an Estonian guy.
Is there something that you really don't like about the Estonian mindset?
Maybe just this kind of small-mindedness, everything should stay the same as it always has been, nothing new, or if it's something new, then it must be imitated from somewhere else, from America, from Sweden, but nothing generated from our own selves, where do we want to go from here? Our glorious, beautiful past, or the future, which must be based on some other country.
Interesting. Have you dated mostly Estonians or mostly foreigners?
Estonians.
Mostly Estonians. Is there something that you really love about the mindset or that you don't like?
Maybe just shared culture, shared understanding. Of course, with foreigners, it's always interesting to explore each other's cultures and things like that, learn new things, but sometimes it does get kind of exhausting. Maybe in a relationship, you don't want that. You don't want to always be explaining why you do or think the way you do, whereas with your own culture, you kind of have this understanding already.
Everyone, hope you enjoyed another video that we did here with Manan in Estonia. By the way, if you want to know more about Estonian culture, I'm going to link to his channel below so you can go and check it out. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a like, give it a share. Guys, it really helps support the channel. The more engagement the channel gets, the more it's able to grow and the more I'm able to make videos just like this one. And as well, leave us your comments. What did you think about the video? What are the things that surprised you the most? I would love to hear your comments. Stay tuned for next week's video. It might be from another country. And as usual, keep breaking down your barriers.